Okay, so plotting points was exercise 5.3, and the main thing to remember is the distance of a line. If I'm going to find the distance of a line, then d equals the square root of, now I'm referring to 2 points. I have x2 minus x1 all squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. Now just remember that that just comes from if I have a triangle on my x and y axes. So which one is D? D is of course the hypotenuse, that's my 90, and the x, this first part, just comes from this distance here. So this is x, the difference between x and x, the second coordinate and the first point. So this and here, yeah? And same with this. I'm going with the difference from here to here. So this is my second part. This is my y2 minus y1. So it's just using our old, good old Pythagoras rule. Okay? But whatever makes it easier for you to remember. Either remember that you are using Pythagoras and draw it on the graph. Alternatively, just remember that this is the formula derived from a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and therefore you can just rearrange for d, or you can just remember this formula, this one here. Remember this refers to your 2 points. So of course the 2's come from second point and these come from first point, and we always read our graph left to right. Second thing we looked at when we were doing plotting was the midpoint. Again, you're using formula. Now what gets confusing here is that when I'm talking about midpoint, I'm talking about capital M, not lowercase m, and then we can start looking at, I'm looking for a point, so I'm looking for x and y, and then it's just the average of the two. So x1 and x2 over 2 is your first coordinate. Same here, y1 and y2 over 2 is your second coordinate. Okay, so for example, if my coordinates were 1, 3, this is A, and B is 2, 6, right? Then I would just use, this one is x1, y1, x2, y2. If it helps, label these. And then substitute in your points. So you know you've got m of x and y. So the middle point, xy, is all that means that. And then I put it in. So I've got x1 is 1 plus 2 over 2 is the first coordinate. Remember, I'm looking at coordinates. Second one is 3 plus 9 over 2. Again, I'm looking at coordinates, remember, so I want that comma in the middle. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 over 2 is 1.5. And 3 plus 9 is, 3 plus 6 is 9. And so therefore I've got 9 divided by 2, which is 4.5. And that is the middle point. So then if I went to draw it, and I originally had this point and this point, this new point here is right bang in the middle. Okay? And that's what we've discovered. Okay, we need to use substitution in order to find corresponding coordinates. So if I have a table of values with x and y, and I need to find what is y for these x coordinates, and my equation might be y equals 2x plus 3. Now it's in the form of y equals, so I'm already half my work's done for me. I don't need to rearrange the equation, then I just substitute this in. So wherever I've got x, I'll put in these numbers here at the top. So I've got 2 times 0 is 0, plus 3 gives me 3. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 3 is 5. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 3 is 7. And etc. And then you can start plotting your points. The first point is 0, 3. Second point is 1, 5. Third point is 2, 7. And you just draw it on a graph. Remember when you are drawing your graph that you want to label x and y, and you need to make sure that your scale is not necessarily different unchanged between x and y, but they need to be unchanged across the x and across the y. So for the x, the scale needs to be the same. So that could be each of these lines represents 2. So maybe -6, -4, -2 there. 2, 4, 6. And maybe along the y, each represents 10. So it could be 10, 20, -10. And then you would plot your points and then draw your line. Now, obviously, this graph does not correspond to these coordinates. However, you get the idea. If I wanted to plot these ones, I go 0, 3. That's where it crosses. So it's there. And then I go 1, 5, 1, 5 here. And then I go 2, 7 here, yeah? And you plot your points and then draw. Now, if this was the graph of this line here, the next thing you would do before you are fully finished is, of course, label your graph. So this is y equals 2x plus 3, for example.